What?
Jewel and Miners.
Is this working? Yep.
It appears to be so.
Oh, my back hurts so bad.
You got plenty of vodka right there to like take care of it.
I know. I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11.
I feel like it wasn't
shooter.
11. It was probably 12.
No, I only had one though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 12. Yep.
Yeah, because there's no way it came in a pack of 11.
Well, I was second guessing myself too, but I just didn't,
That's what happens whenever you get a vodka lemonade and you have them pour more vodka on top of it.
I couldn't taste the vodka. Well, then I
Then
definitely
you could only
could.
taste the vodka.
Yeah, it was like just yellow vodka. I couldn't taste anything. That was just a horrible. That Stoma chili cook-off was just
You don't always
total waste of time. I mean, we should have known because we don't like chili.
I didn't think it was going to be as packed as what it was.
I didn't
though.
think it was going to be. Yeah, like I thought it'd be like, oh, there's still cool stuff to do.
Like there was no room to really
people
be open.
watching. There was no, yeah, there wasn't even like an open area to kind of just even gather yourself. You were just completely surrounded by camouflage, beards.
It's like there's always some bottom dwellers that end up at events like those, but there were definitely much more than what I expected.
There was a lot of the bottom of the chili pot.
That's a gross pot to be at the bottom of.
Boom! I need a soundboard so I can do
We need like a MIDI keyboard. All right, is the battery like low on this?
Let me see. Why?
Because the lens will just keep going back in on its own without me hitting like power off.
Click.
So am I autistic?
Probably.
All right.
That'd explain your forehead.
Wow. Totally unrelated and very personal, but thank you.
No, you must be hitting it twice or something. Because yeah, I put a full battery in it when we left, and then we didn't use it because why would
what
we
the
want
fuck
to
we're
take
gonna
pictures of that
of?
place?
A bunch of people stuffing chili into their face. Very
Yep.
appealing.
Or you know what? I didn't know that Affliction was still like a brand that had not shut down until today.
Thanks, Buckle.
I used to work at the Buckle for a summer. Yeah, in high school.
Oh, I'm judging you.
Yeah, it was it was like a summer job. It was like completely seasonal, and
Sorry, how big was your stitching?
oh, huge! It was like immense stitching, record-breaking stitching. I mean, the discount was pretty cool, but I remember like the regional manager or whatever who was there in the Battlefield Mall. Like that was like that's where he stayed. Like I think he lived on a futon in the back room. His name was Eric, probably with a CK. Anyway, he came to me one day and he was like, yeah, he tried to talk about needing me to take personality training to completely restructure my personality to shove product down people's throats. And I told him, I was like, that's why people make fun of the Buckle. Like, that's why people don't come here, because they see it as like they can't even browse without being literally assaulted by a salesperson. Yeah.
Hey, you need jeans? Here's 30 different pairs. I know you were looking at this one, but here's one somewhat similar.
And the gall of like a middle-aged dude who with a fake tan to say, I need you to, we should take you to training to like restructure your personality. It's just so audacious. So instead they put me on.
Like, please tell me more about your psych degree since you're a fucking manager at the Buckle.
Oh yeah, and you're with your fucking frosted tips. So they stuck me on merchandising for like the remaining month that I was there, since it was a seasonal job. And it was like all I did was dress mannequins all day. Like, oh my God, thank you. Like, you did me such a huge favor. I literally just get to create outfits all day. Why would I have a problem with this?
Yeah. Don't have to deal with people and...
But I also did not get workman's comp or insurance for cutting my fingers on all the bedazzles. That was a joke, obviously. That didn't happen.
Step ladder, motherfuckers.
I know, we can hear there's people... Yeah, there's people moving... an office down from me because they took the office that I wanted. Twice the price, 3 windows, so amazing. Told the building owner, dude, I will sign a lease right now, cash in hand. I want it. I've outgrown my studio space. I need it. But understandably, and like I said, ethically, I understand. Someone else asked to see it before me, even though technically I kind of had dibs. I was like, if anyone's ever interested, let me know so I can tell you if I want it or not. That's neither here nor there, but I still feel dicked over.
Yeah, to bring it up beforehand that I didn't know, that's some shitty shit.
I did kind of, well, and I understand. It's like, how would I know? Like, I told him I would probably do it in like 6 months, but still. So anyway, she walked in, she took it like on the spot, and now don't have that space, and it's super upsetting.
Granted, she's probably doing more
I know these
good
are
per se with that space than what we would be, because it's just like, yeah, we'd get drunk and
right. She's a family counselor, and
Yeah.
we just sit here and drink and talk shit on
local events.
on microphone. Yeah, on local events. God, that was just so like.
Fucking Stelmas.
I know. I don't know what I expected because it's a chili cook-off. So I mean, people are gonna be like, "Well, what the fuck did you expect? It was a chili cook-off." But I still expected like
Just a little more openness to it.
a little
not
more
as many
openness.
vendors, I
Yeah,
guess.
better like infrastructure. They had booths in places that didn't need to be. That,
like,
that
frankly,
totally impeded foot traffic. Then you have all these dumb people who don't understand the etiquette of like, oh hey, I'm just gonna sit here and drink my drink at the start of the line instead of moving away so the line can form.
Well, it's like, even if you like chili, there was like 50, 60 different vendors.
You
Like,
would
how do
definitely,
vote on
you would
anything?
definitely have a horrible ulcer by the end. Yeah.
I mean, the flavor's going to blend together. You're not going to remember who was actually the
And the
best. or
dumpsters
anything.
full of people whose chili they threw out was disgusting.
Yeah, that
like
did look
that is
gross
a
as
health
hell.
hazard right there. And also no gun booth.
You're really upset about the no gun booth.
Yeah, because I expected in this Midwest chili cook-off there'd be like a gun booth where you could buy guns, so I could be like, hey, my mental health is depleting, I'm impulsive, let me buy a handgun. And I wanted to see if they would sell it to me, and I was gonna buy it. And there was no gun booth. Total waste of the day.
I mean, we could probably go get you a gun if you wanted a gun.
Go to a pawn shop. I want like an old-fashioned revolver.
Yeah, Dirty Harry.
Some fucking like Red Dead Redemption
Make my
2
day.
shit, you know?
Yeah, 44 Magnum, just good to go. Think you're Clint Eastwood?
Who's Clint Eastwood? I'm kidding. I know who Clint Eastwood
He's that
is.
old dude that was like
Talks like this.
He was a Gran Torino or something like that.
That's like one of those newer ones. That
Kidding, I know
probably
who
like
he
the
is.
real fans of him, like that are our grandfather's age, don't even know.
I just know he's a badass, and I kind of don't fuck with that because the movie quality is just beyond what I want to deal with at this point.
I have a difficulty, like you have those classic movies out there where it's like, oh, you have to see it, but the problem is that they were made in the 70s, the 80s, whatever, where the
I have
quality
no
is
desire
so
to watch
different.
A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, like it's hard to, and I'm not saying that it's not an amazing movie, for its time, whatever, and it's culturally significant. But it's hard for me to watch when I'm like, well,
Sci-fi has come so far. And that.
the tech is so dated.
Well, like
it's
Blade
hard for me not to
Runner.
only focus on that.
Like Blade Runner is supposed to be one of the best sci-fi movies ever made, with Harrison Ford. I've never seen it, but there's also a remake out, and I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, me neither. But that's because I don't really give a shit about Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, with him as the lead, I don't give a shit. But the original, I would
Yeah,
at least be
he's not a
interested
lead
in. But at
actor
this
in my
point, it's like,
opinion.
okay, it's been so long, I don't know if I'd want to see it.
Right. And like I remember seeing Tron, like the new one.
Well, I thought that one was
Or
decent.
wait, was there only one and they just made it off a game? Was there a first movie too? I don't know.
I feel like there was an old 80s one. The one I saw was,
The
Tron
new one.
Legacy, and that was newer.
Yeah, I don't think it was horrible, but I didn't see the first one. And then I saw that Ready Player One. Did you ever see that?
Was that with
They're like in the future and they like live in fucking trailers and
who's
they
the dude that was in 300?
Gerard Butler.
Yeah,
not
is he
him.
in that one or
No.
what was he in? There was one where he was like a video game, or it was like somebody controls him.
Gamer.
Okay, was that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, shit, I'm getting all my movies mixed up now.
No, Ready Player One. It was like not. It's like I'd call it one where like you watch it on a flight, like it's the only thing you can watch. But to sit in your living room on your couch watching it, you're kind of like, okay, so what else is going on my phone?
Yeah.
It was just not,
This
like
is nice background noise.
yeah, it was well made, the production quality, and they did a lot of CGI stuff. But the idea of it is just kind of like, I grew up with The Matrix being one of my favorite ever movies. Like, when my family bought a DVD player when I was like 5th grade, and they were like $600 a piece.
Yeah, fuck, these to be expensive.
Oh yeah, And now you can get them for like $30 a piece.
Shit, cheaper than that.
True, probably. $10, you're right. The tiny little one that only like looks like the size of a disc.
Yeah.
Well, our first DVDs were The Jekyll, Face Off,
I'm gonna take his face off.
and Pearl Harbor and The Matrix. Like it was like we got it at Sam's, and those were like the It movies or something like that at the time. So I pretty much watched all of those multiple times because it was the only thing to
DVDs
fucking watch
yeah.
on this brand new DVD player. So like The Matrix, and the Pearl Harbor I've probably seen a billion times.
No, like I remember seeing Jurassic Park 3 like God knows how many fucking times.
Yes, Lost World was one of them too. Thank you.
No,
Lost
like
World
I
was
remember
one of the
getting a
DVDs.
DVD player. My parents rented Enemy at the Gates. You know, the old World War II one where it was like about a Russian sniper or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard of that.
A pretty good movie, but yeah, like this was 2002 or something like that. Fucking A.
I was in like 5th grade.
I just remember them being blown away because they were like, yeah, we don't have to rewind it.
Right?
Especially before you take it back.
And like
you were a dick if you didn't rewind the movie before you take it back.
And the interactive menus, like instead of just hitting play, you had to like, I remember using this tiny little prehistoric now remote that you had to navigate them. And you see kids these days don't even know. They're just like, what? I just downloaded my shit off iTunes. Not even LimeWire.
I just pirated it.
Pirated it, yeah.
Yeah, like they don't know what the Pirate's Bay was, where, you know, giving your computer AIDS. Or constantly being worried that
That
the
blue
FBI
screen
was
of
gonna...
death.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, that was terrible.
But like I remember being in high school and you'd hear every once in a while about like, oh yeah, like this kid at this town got busted because he had 20,000 songs he downloaded offline or something. Now what?
Exactly. Now what?
Off the list.
No, I think a segment to finally introduce into this fourth episode of this podcast is the kind of like topic from a hat, because we don't have like there's some days we just don't have that much to vent and talk shit about without it being natural. Especially because I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks. You had like a nose job and shit.
I did have surgery on my nose.
Yeah, you had surgery on your nose. Yeah, you had that model syndrome.
Yeah, you know, just super unhappy with my appearance and.
Oh, that I thought I meant snorting bath salts.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it too.
So we haven't like had much to talk about, but I would like a segment where we just like literally out of a literal hat or a figurative hat, whichever is easier, a topic that has been suggested on Instagram or social media or something, or that we just completely came up with. I'm trying to think. All right, let's go to the hat.
All right, pull one out.
Okay, here's one. Craziest the next morning story. Oh. Kedward.
The ones I have, like, I don't really have details. It's just like, yeah, I woke up and here's the last thing I remember versus, like, here's 10 hours I have unaccounted for.
That's a horrible story.
I know.
You don't have, like, something happened the next day or, like, something like some girl was, like, playing videos on YouTube when it woke you up at 5 a.m. and you had to kick them out. Like, you don't have some Tinder story?
No, like, I mean, no, I don't have Tinder stories from that. No, like, I remember going to a party where we were down in Hollister one night, and I know I had my truck parked at the Walmart this is back when I was 18. I had my truck parked at the Walmart exit in Ozark, which is like their southernmost exit. So the party was in Hollister, you know, down past Branson. That's a good 45-minute hour drive. Don't remember leaving the party. Wake up in the passenger seat of my truck at like 5 a.m. the next day, and I'm parked on the northernmost exit in Ozark with my keys in the driver's seat. All of my texts are deleted. All of my calls are deleted.
It's like something out of like a Hitman movie.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, I woke up in my vehicle in the passenger seat, so did I drive or did somebody else fucking drive? And why are my keys
You were in the
driver's
passenger seat?
Yeah, I'm in the passenger seat with my keys in the driver's seat. In a fucking random ass parking lot at Price Cutter. Like a good 3-4 miles north of where I had it parked.
See,
yeah.
that is an app. That is the next morning story. What are you talking about? That is
it's just, I mean, like, it's crazy, but it's not like I've got like, oh, well, all these events happen. It's just like, yeah, I got too drunk at a party, but somehow I ended up here, and I have no idea as to how I got there or how my truck got there.
See, mine is like, I have probably entirely too many, but the one that comes to mind was when I was living in St. Louis, and a friend of mine at the time, we aren't friends anymore. He was very much a functional alcoholic. Like he had black hair, then he went to jail for DUI, and he came out with gray hair.
Oh, shit.
I was like 22 and he was like 34, and he was very much like a type to he would always lose his phone in the taxi. He was very much, simply put, a functional alcoholic.
Just very irresponsible adult, it sounds like.
Oh, yep.
How do you lose your phone in this day and age?
Well, I mean, it was a flip phone back in those, and he was not a phone guy. Like he just did not use a phone. So we had been out the night before, like really crazy shit. I think we had got kicked out of a cab on I-44 on the east side of St. Louis because he started smoking in it or something. So he shows up at my building downtown St. Louis, banging on my door, and I'm like on the couch, like in a coma practically from the night before. And he comes in, and he's got like a cooler full of beer. And he's like trying to get me, and I'm like, whatever. Like he hands me like a joint. I'm like, all right, fuck it, And he's like, all right, we're gonna go somewhere, I'm like, okay, like we'll resume, I guess. And we end up walking. He's like, my car is right down the street. I parked right down the street. No, he did not. It was like 3 miles away. Like we literally, and like every time I'd be like, dude, are we almost there? And he'd be like, yeah, it's right down the block. No. It would then be another 10 blocks farther down. We finally get to his car. And at this point, he's been like drinking beer out of his cooler the entire way. So he is like completely gone. So somehow it ended up where he was actually blindfolded and tied up in the backseat of his own car. I was driving. I had not been drinking, but I was driving. And I think we were actually coming to Springfield. I think we were going to actually come down here to Springfield as just like on a whim,
But you had him tied up and blindfolded.
I don't know how this happened. I don't. And
like that weird ass game we used to play in high school where you'd like drop your friends off in a random spot.
I remember like finding a picture on my phone like the next day, and he was like blindfolded. He had his shirt off and tied around his head. And for all I know, he did it to himself. I don't know, but I don't remember. And like I come to basically, and it was almost like I blacked out, and I came to, and we were at like Six Flags in Eureka, Missouri, at the top of a Ferris wheel, like sharing a joint, like at the top of the Ferris wheel. And I remember feeling like, wow, this is like the first time I've been on a roller coaster in like a decade, and I'm both hungover, intoxicated, and stoned at the same time. And it was the most...
And you're probably trespassing, I'm assuming.
No, we got into the park somehow. We paid to get in. He probably paid to get in.
What the fuck?
Yeah, we came to like literally at the top of a Ferris wheel at Six Flags, and then we somehow ended up at a hotel across. It's like this like piece of shit Holiday Inn motel thing, like right across from. It's not even like one of the nicer hotels around Six Flags. It was right across the street from
It's
Six
one
Flags.
of your bargain ones for the people that never leave Missouri.
Yeah, one of the bargain ones, like literally laying in like separate queen beds in the same room, watching like a Harry Potter marathon until we both like blacked out. That is like to this day one of just my craziest.
It's random as fuck.
Random. Sure. The next morning, because it's not even like the next morning. Like I woke up feeling regretful. It was like an entire escapade after the evening that it had already happened.
Like the way you and I met ended up being pretty random.
I actually told Mulcahy that story when he was in here on the podcast a week ago.
So it was like Cody just showed up at my house one night with a 30-pack of beer, and he was like, "Hey, we're gonna start shotgunning."
Yeah,
it was a Tuesday night, and he was newly divorced. So I was like, "All right, whatever."
We had met each other before because I was out. I went out to a bar by myself to get a drink, and then I ran into Cody and Jared, and they were like, "Yeah, come drink with us." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." And then you popped by like when we were at studio, and you were like. And I remember it was like way out of it was not normal for me, but that was like during my phase of like 2 years ago where I was like.
It was very much the same thing where it was like, okay, we obviously have mutual friends, but we're not going to.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, I'm not gonna make. Yeah, I was like, let's not make this awkward. What's up? I'm Ryan, which is like very uncharacteristic for me.
So otherwise, I don't introduce myself. Like I don't give a fuck.
Me neither. Yeah, ever. And I was like, you gonna drink or no? And you were like, no. I just ate a lot. I can't drink.
I was probably really fucking high. Honestly.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then by the end of that night, I woke up. I woke up the next morning. Oh, that's actually a pretty good next morning story too. Maybe it was just a horrible next morning. I woke up the next morning. My ankle was swollen and like nearly broken because I slipped off a median. I had my knee. One of my knees was all bloody from that tumble, and then I had a light fixture that I had pulled out of the basement ceiling at studio at the lounge place we were at, and I like pulled it out and put it in my jacket pocket, and I woke up in all my clothes on my bed, and with that light fixture in my pocket, and like my right ankle was swollen for like a week, like I could barely walk. I think I almost broke it. And the last thing I remember from that night was having Cody and Jared drop me off outside the cheesesteak place, and I like hobbled in to get a cheesesteak, and it was like, yeah, I think I broke my ankle. And then the owner being like, yeah, it looks not good. And then I took my
something's clearly wrong with you.
I took my order, and then I like hobbled and like limped 3 blocks back to my building, and then I think I ate it over my sink, blacked out. So, okay, that is the prelim of how the first time we actually met.
So, yeah, that's the first time we actually met. But yeah, then like Cody showed up with a 30-pack, and he was like, hey, we're shotgunning beers. So I'm like, all right, you know what? It's springtime. It's nice weather. You're newly divorced and separated. Like, fuck it. I'll be that friend. We'll get fucked up together.
We were that friend for some time after that, yeah.
And then he was like, you know what? Let's go downtown and do something. He wanted to go eat, I think. So we went to like CB Social, and I remember having a drink there.
Okay, I thought you went to Kai.
Well, and then that's when like Ryan and Daisy were gonna go see the new Beauty and the Beast, and they were at Kai's. So we're like, oh, we'll go bug them real quick.
Okay.
And it's kind of hazy there for me. We're like, I remember taking shots.
You
of
were
Goldschlager.
pretty shit faced when I got there.
Well, like Cody made me chug like 6 beers before we even left my apartment.
That's generally what happens, yeah.
So 6 beers in the course of like 5 minutes. I was fucked up.
Well, because then I remember I was like sick that night. Like literally had just taken NyQuil and like crawled into bed. I was not feeling well, and I get this DM in my DM request, and I couldn't recognize the guy from the profile picture. You remember his old profile picture?
Oh yeah, Cody's.
Yeah,
it was
looking like
outdated.
Looking like a Easter bunny, kind of like Peter Cottontail with a big mustache.
No, that was something from like the Academy. It was the fashion show.
That was
thing
it.
Too.
Yeah,
so he was very unrecognizable.
Yeah, very unrecognizable, and it's just this like blurred image with the message, "You get fucked up on a Tuesday." And I'm thinking like, whoa, who's like, is this dude sending me a dick pic? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, what the fuck? And I unblur it, thinking like, what is this gonna be? And it's a fucking selfie of him and you. And I was like, oh. And this was like, again, very much during my like phase that I was going through, where I almost pretty much said yes to almost everything. Like it was like a fuck my comfort zone kind of period of my life, where I was like, just said yes to everything. So I was like, I like crawled out of bed, like after taking NyQuil, put on clothes, and I met you guys down there. And down at Kai.
Yeah, you met us at Kai.
At Kai.
I feel like we took at least 1 or 2 shots there or something.
We did. And the problem was like...
to me, and then I remember our walk to Dublin's, though, because that's when we were really fucked up. And I was singing the OC theme song.
The problem was like, I don't know if it was the NyQuil or the... Even though I know it's a joke. I don't know if it was the NyQuil. Yeah, it's like you're being like, yeah, like
why was that necessary?
He thinks he's being funny, but like I don't think it's funny. Anyway, back to the podcast, not that text. I don't know if it was the NyQuil. Maybe I drank the night before or something, but it was like that kind of night where you go out, but no matter what you drink, you can't actually get intoxicated. So I was just like a figment, like a fucking, like whatever. Like pretty much watching like a ghost. And I remember like us like singing Phantom Planet like on the way down the street.
I just remember somebody said California, and that's when I started singing the fucking theme song to OC.
That was it. No, yeah. Cody mentioned California, and then you go, "Here we come, right back where." That was pretty fucking funny.
It's like all is like a blur to me, but I just remember like
a lot of like inside jokes were birthed that night.
I was full of one-liners, that's for damn sure.
From white privilege to everyone looks like Diplo.
Everybody looked like Diplo.
I still need to put that on a t-shirt.
It's like the crazy part for me is like I barely remember leaving there. I wake up the next morning with like a Snapchat video on my phone where like I'd accidentally saved it somehow.
You guys look like you were on bath salts.
Oh, it was terrible. Like we're in some random ass parking garage. I'm like, when the fuck did we go there?
And someone was in the back. You were in the back, or he was in the back? Like
that was 20 Cody feet, in the back.
Okay, 20
recording.
feet from behind.
Like I don't know if he was peeing against the wall or what he was.
No,
doing.
it looked like he was just like standing. Just see now. Okay, so now see if this was a video podcast. If this was if we had video, we would literally just pull up the fucking.
We'd be
video.
like, yeah, see clip here.
Yeah.
Which frankly, I don't want anyone to ever see that video.
No,
like, wow,
I was thinking of all the other ones we have though, like in my iCloud of like him doing an army crawl down my hallway and shit. You know, like just those really random ones. No, yeah, he was like just I remember seeing it. Someone was showing it to me. And yeah, you were like up front, and that's when I was like, "Did you guys do bath salts or something?" And he's like in the back, just standing like with his legs like spread wide, and just like with his head down. I feel like he was like shaking it, like and just making like a really long groaning noise.
Well, see, like that's all blurry to me. I vaguely remember like picking up two girls that we were with because like once we left Dublin.
No, I remember that because I was there.
Yeah, like Cody and I were like, "Fuck it, we're going home." We bailed on the two girls that we were hanging out with.
Well, see, you or him invited them down, and then I got invited out, and I was like, "This is weird."
See, and that,
I felt like
remember.
a fifth wheel, and I was like, That's when I bounced. I was like, we were playing paper football with dollar bills with the bartender.
See, like none of that.
And well, this was Cody and I, because you were busy picking up all the dollar bills that he dropped.
The ones that Cody threw into the street.
Yeah, and that's when those two girls showed up. And I was like, yeah, okay, this is what I'm going to bid you guys adieu because they're here for you too. And I just showed up because of the weird DM invite. I was like, I went home and I went to bed.
Well, I know we left Dublin's and Cody and I were like, fuck it, we're going home. Didn't even make it out of downtown. We had to go pick those girls up. And then I remember barely being conscious in the back seat.
Is that the night that he fed via his mouth chicken nuggets?
Regurgitated French fries into somebody's mouth. That was disgusting.
That is.
But no, I remember we went through McDonald's and I'm asleep in the back seat.
You remember it, but you were asleep?
I'm sitting there with my eyes closed, but I'm still somewhat conscious. But I just remember hearing the total, and she was like, "Okay, 45 something," and I was like, "How the fuck do you spend $45 at McDonald's?"
That is a lot of chicken nuggets.
And I wake up the next morning in Christy's living room, and there's French fries everywhere. There's melted ice cream cones on our coffee table. It was just Cody was like, "You know what? One of everything on the menu. That's what I want," and then none of it got eaten.
See, what are you talking about? That was the morning after story.
Well, and then
sounds like someone needed a morning after.
We wake up to where Cody has to take myself and Stephanie to my apartment where my truck is. Cody's then got to haul ass to work, and then I've got to take Stephanie to work, and then lo and behold, she loses her keys.
Was that the day you had to go do your taxes too, or was that to complete?
I was supposed to, yeah, but I called. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not making my tax appointment."
I remember something being familiar where you were like, "I missed my tax appointment" or something like that. This is why you just have someone else do your taxes. Why do you have to make an appointment for that?
Because I'm too lazy, so I just drop all the shit off and have someone do it. Why do
you have to have an appointment for that, though?
Well, that was the first time I was going to her, I feel like, and so she didn't know how simple or complicated it was going to be. Yeah, that was a fucked up night.
Yeah,
Cody throwing $30 and ones down the street.
I was telling Mulcahy that story. I don't remember how it came up. A couple nights ago, and he was like, "I have literally never heard this story before."
It's we were
about the entire a series of events that led to Cody,
us all being friends.
Yeah, Cody, you and I being friends. Yeah, and it was just through debaucherous fucking
a random ass Tuesday fucking.
You
night.
know who I saw at the at that Stoma chili cook-off? The wheelchair girl.
I thought I saw her at one point. I was like, okay, she's a cute blonde in a wheelchair.
I didn't say anything, but I didn't say anything to you, but I saw her and I thought that is the chick that Cody sat on her lap
And said, what happened?
and said, "What happened?" No, is this seat taken? And then what happened? And then at one point licked her face. And that is the same night that I also got busted for peeing in public after spending the entire night saying, "How
You're
stupid can you be
public."
to pee in public and almost ruin your life?" Oh my God, that was such a... See, we deleted that. I already told that story on the podcast, but we deleted it because you were like, "Whoa, the story I told, I can't have people knowing." And I was like, okay.
It wasn't a bad story, but it was like, you know what?
I'll
That's
make
just
that
a little
exception.
bit debaucherous for how young I was and shit. And
True.
Jesus.
So this is when I just can't care what I put out. If I cared about everything I put out into the world on social media, I would never put anything out.
That's fair.
Because then it'd be like,
Felt cute, might delete later.
like, oh my God, if my mother ever hears this podcast, I know she knows that my local one exists, and that's all professional and shit. This one is obviously 100% not, and she'd be like, "Oh my God, I did not know the things
You
that
were drinking before 21?
that my son lived through." Like, yeah, Mom, if you're listening to this, I've done recreational drugs. I've drank a lot. I've been homeless in my car, getting free cups of water for my dog through McDonald's. I've been through some shit.
But that was my burden and not yours.
So yeah, hopefully she never finds this fucking podcast.
Like those times you thought I was at so-and-so's house, I was dying in a field from too much vodka.
No, see, I was no. There'd be times I'd be like, yeah, I'm going out to I'm spending the night at my friend John's, who was like already older than me, so he could buy alcohol. But instead, like, no, I was like on a billboard painting graffiti, and then sleeping in my car down the road from my parents' house. So that I can roll in like the next day, like, oh yeah, I just got home from John's, my from the sleepover, and it's like there's like spray paint on my fingers and shit.
I'm like, yeah, it's 5 a.m. I just couldn't sleep at my friend's house, but in reality,
That's exactly what it was. Because what was I gonna do? Hang out in my car till 10 o'clock in
Yeah.
10 o'clock in the yeah.
But no, it's like, no, in reality, I went to a party at Hollister, and cops showed up, and
And you woke up in a prize cutter parking lot.
So the party at that dude's house ended up being a 3-night affair, where it was like his, because we're all 18 at the time, so it's like we only have parties when somebody's parents are in
Incriminating.
town.
What's the statute of limitations?
I don't know, but the police showed up. So
I'm 28 now,
report
so it's
on it.
10 years since I've been 18.
Shit, this was 9 years ago.
Oh
That's
my
fucking
God,
crazy.
I'm old. I feel it too.
Fuck. But no, like we had a party at this dude's house 3 nights in a row. The first night I didn't go because I thought it was going to be fucking lame. Second night was fun. I ended up running from the cops until like 2 a.m.
I've done that.
Well, like I thought there was a fight going on because I'm talking to some chick on the back porch, and within 30 seconds, like 200 people empty out of this house at once. So I'm like jogging along with the crowd. I'm like, oh, there's going to be a fight. And then somebody said cops. So I was like, all right, fuck that.
World Star!
No, I bounced past everybody. I ran through the woods for like a mile and a half. And then I come back up to the house with my shirt tied around my head, and the police were like, why'd you run? And I was like, well, I thought there was a fight. And they told me shut up and sit down. And got home that night just fine. But yeah, then the following night, that's whenever I woke up in my truck the next day at 5. Like, I have no fucking clue what happened.
Okay, see, now, I don't have anything to build on that, but this entire last, 15 minutes has proved that the draw from a hat idea works, because one topic drawing from a hat that is at complete random and organized chaos created a whole other thing. So
yeah,
let's go
we
ahead
have
and...
a decent amount of stories from morning after.
We did, yeah. So let's pull another topic from the hat.
All right, what we got?
Ooh. The Office conspiracy theories. This was actually submitted from an Instagram user. I don't remember who submitted it because it was a while back when we were still
First podcast?
birthing this idea of a podcast that we were using shitty Amazon lapel mics, lavalier mics. And,
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's when we're using iPhone headphones
I know.
pretty much.
yeah, and an iPhone to record, which is still, obviously still work. Anyway, all right, Office conspiracy theories.
Do I need to Google this again?
Kedward, I would appreciate if you Googled some, yeah.
Fuck, how do I can spell conspiracy right?
CONSPIRACY.
I've got it right here. I just hit the wrong one at first.
Yo,
The
dude, I
source.
won spelling bees when I was a kid. Oh my gosh. On my Facebook, literally advertisements after I was talking about it for guns and concealed carry classes, all that shit. People don't get it. Like, you know that Facebook and like your phone listens to you all the time.
All the time.
I heard on the radio the other day, it was like 96.5 or whatever, some bullshit local station that, you know, they think they're super like in tune with everything. They were like, "Oh my God, did you know that Facebook listens to you? There's a couple on the internet that tested it. Here, we'll play the audio from this video," and you barely know what's going on. It's like, welcome to 4 years ago. I literally tested that 4 years ago with Pumpkins, American Express, and something else to show that Facebook is 100% listening to you. But I mean, if you're on social media, I think you should just accept, like, of course, you're going to give up your privacy. Like, how could you be upset about it? What did you think you were signing up for? Anyway, on with the conspiracy theories.
I'm kind of taken aback because this is one I've never encountered before.
Ooh. And I know how you are with random conspiracy theories about shows.
It says Roy and Angela had an affair.
What?
Yeah, that's one that never crossed my mind and shit that I never picked up on. But it says, well, for starters, Angela isn't exactly faithful when it comes to like romantic partnership.
That's
While she
true.
has a genuine connection with Dwight and never cheats on him, she proceeds to hook up with him even when she's engaged to Andy. So seeing Roy romantically while he's engaged to Pam shouldn't bother her as much as it comes to like particular behaviors and shit like that. And it says also that Roy and Angela aren't shy with their attraction to one another, as their flirtatious behavior has been documented in several episodes. Apparently, in episode 14 of season 2, Roy states that he would hook up with Angela during a friendly game of Who Would You Do?
I remember that.
And then in episode 22 of season 2, during casino night, when Michael greets everyone with old friends and new lovers, Roy and Angela are shown flirtatiously gazing at one another, perhaps confirming that they are in fact new lovers. So now, like, we gotta watch that episode to confirm.
That I do not remember at all, that's for sure.
Because when it comes to casino night, the one thing that everybody remembers is, like, okay, that's whenever Jim confessed his love for Pam and all that shit went, you know, down the drain and whatnot.
Yup.
So shit, that one's kind of got me thinking now. Or here's one, apparently Pam is the office bitch.
Is that the one? What? Office bitch.
Yeah, which is kind of catching me off guard.
Yeah, that's a little. I mean, I know the one about Jim actually being the bad guy.
Yeah, like that one was like, okay, Jim is secretly manipulative and controlling everything.
Yeah,
and while
like,
it kind of makes sense, it's like that seems a little more
cynical.
It seems too invested. Yeah, like he comes off too lazy to put that much work into it. Honestly.
Yeah, that one's a little cynical.
Well, it's like he'll put so much work into like Dwight's pranks and stuff, but that's an escape versus him like controlling the entire fucking office. Like, why wouldn't you just want to be the manager or something then?
Because maybe the illusion of power is better than actually having power. Right?
And shit, here's one that Michael hates Toby because he's got father issues.
See, I liked Toby.
I thought he was decent until like halfway through, and then it was like, okay, now you're a douche, but it also seemed like the writers were trying to make him into more of a douche as time went on.
Did you know the guy who plays Toby, what is his name, Paul Lieberstein or whatever, he's actually like a producer and like he does a lot of stuff in television. Like he's like a showrunner and shit.
See, like here's another one I'm coming across is that Toby is actually the Scranton Strangler.
You've never heard that one?
No, I've seen that one multiple times.
Have you seen the one? Did I send you in text the one of Jim being the Scranton Strangler? And it was where in the episode where they're like at his house like for the party, and when he's in his room with Pam or whoever, on his bulletin board there is a little like action figure who actually looks like he's in a Dunder Mifflin outfit, hanging by a noose.
No, that I never.
I didn't send you that.
I need to like rewatch this whole series now and really look for like background shit instead of the actual story.
See, I just keep it on for background noise because I've seen it so many times.
That's what I do with Friends for the most part. Just because I like Friends.
I haven't watched Friends in so long. I feel like certain things I would watch of it now. It's like so culturally out of touch.
Oh, it definitely is, and like the show.
But I mean, so is The Office.
Today.
I mean, you know, it wouldn't be. It couldn't be made today either.
Stuff, it'd be like, wow, you'd be crucified instantly.
Right, but I feel like they maybe went about it differently. Like I don't know, they owned their shit. Like, oh, this inappropriate or politically incorrect statement they made, but then the whole thing is because Michael's just naive, and then they show him the right way. Whereas with Friends and some of those other sitcoms, it was like, no, this is just blatantly offensive.
It's just a straight up like bigoted gay joke.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It was 92, so it's supposed to be expected and normal
right.
at that time.
Isn't it so bizarre that we like grow up in like such different times?
Oh yeah.
Like when we were growing up, it was appropriate and accepted to think that way, even though it was wrong. That was like the way that it was supposed to be. And then even before that, you know, I mean, that's why we all have grandparents who are fucking still racist.
Yeah, racist.
Like, it's not right.
Boy and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not right. It's just the way that
it's ingrained into your brain.
It's ingrained into their time or whatever.
Especially if they came from a small town, it's like you're going to have that mentality regardless where you move or how progressive you try to become.
Yep. I'd say now imagine where this generation will be, but I mean, they're all like eating Tide Pods and playing Fork Knife and shit.
Well, they go from eating Tide Pods to marching on the Capitol over gun laws to, back to Fortnite.
Yeah, it's like they're all over the place.
Not Fork Knife. Now you got me fucked up saying it.
I know, I made a joke.
Fork Knife.
Fork Knife versus Apex Legends. You know what? We were talking about this off recording earlier.
Should we start streaming?
I kind of like the idea of a Twitch channel.
Because even if we suck, it's just going to be us drunk and
even
talking
if
shit
it's like, it's just basically what we're doing now, except there would also be a camera here. We're streaming it to Twitch, where we're just getting shit-faced and talking shit.
And sucking at video games.
And sucking at video games,
by
yeah.
5-year-olds.
All right, let me Google this. Maybe this isn't the best time to do this. How to...
Siri, how do you start streaming?
How to stream... Hold on. Echo. How do you stream on Switch?
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Hey,
that's
helpful.
why Siri's kicking your ass, you fucking behind the times bitch.
Yeah, that was really unhelpful.
Shit, I'm drunk.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Wine Dive at 4.
Having said that, I think it's time for pizza.
What kind of pizza?
Dude, it's Rocco's. It's always Rocco's.
Dude, I want... See, that's the thing. Rocco's, it's like that... Mariah asked me, she was like, ew, how do you eat that stuff? Because she has never had it.
Because it's fucking
delicious.
delicious.
And I was like, it is literally the... like cartoon greasy, like what you saw when you were a kid in like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Where it's that very cheesy pool.
Yeah.
But it's a very good
but there's not too much cheese.
Yeah, it's not like the topping is slipping off kind of thing. It's just it's cheesy and stretchy and fucking delicious.
Just like you go to you go to a donut place and you want that the donut with the pink frosting, the Simpsons donut. There's something nostalgic and pop culture-y about it.
It's
that makes it look good.
It's that generic stereotypical image in your head when you think like pizza, like this is what I want.
And that's what it is.
Yeah, and Rocco's is just the fucking
and that's
shit.
it. But it also happens to also be good. I mean, I hate myself every time I eat it. But
I'll eat a large pizza.
But that's just because I hate myself.
Period. Because I ate a large pizza.
Oh yeah, no. A couple nights ago when I text you and I was like, "So now is it okay to order Rocco's because there's no ice on the roads?" I did. I ordered a large pizza and I ate it like within an hour. And I was like, and I usually don't do that. Usually it's like I leave half of it for the next day.
Yeah, but no, like whenever I've got like 2 or 3 slices left, I'm like, you know what?
I might as well.
Yeah. Yep. But then you feel sick.
And that's what happened. I felt so awful. I like laid on the couch the rest of the night just feeling like...
You're too full to do anything.
I was too full. I wanted to die.
But it was so fucking good. I just can't stop eating.
That's why, you know what? And I know this is like not very sensitive, but like people with eating disorders...
I get it.
Like
I would. Tastes good. You can't stop.
If I could just fucking eat the shit out of this pizza.
Oh, I would keep going. If I had the room, I would keep fucking going.
No, if I like was okay with that feeling, I would just eat the shit out of that pizza, throw it up,
and then do it again. Yeah, that used to be what the rich people would do back in ancient times. Like, oh, you go and gorge on this fucking buffet, put an ostrich feather down your throat to make yourself puke, and then you go about it again.
What the fuck?
Well, they even mentioned that in the Hunger Games.
Is this fucking fact checked?
No, like swear to God, this is like an ancient Egyptian culture.
An ostrich feather?
An ostrich feather. But no, they even talk about
I'm
the
Googling
Hunger
it.
Games
I'm
movie.
Googling it. I'm Googling it. I gotta Google this shit.
They're like second Hunger Games movie. They're like on the train with all the fucking buffet shit. And they're like, oh, you drink this little vial and you can throw it all up so you can keep eating over and over again.
Ostrich. Okay, see, this is why I love this podcast, because like, but the other podcasts, I have to be like, one, like it can't go like this because I have to like, oh, let me go edit all this random shit out. This is literally just talk, upload. All right, ostrich feather to throw up. Ancient times.
That might be helpful to put on there.
Yeah.
I feel like I learned that in history class in like 6th or 7th grade.
I think you're making this up.
Fact check me.
I don't think you're making it up. It just seems so insane.
Well, it's like that's why fat people in ancient times were the rich ones, because
they could afford the
it was
food.
a sign you had wealth for food.
Cardi B wears. Oh my god, what is her ad budget? She's literally in everything, and she's like
Dude, she wears red bottoms. Okay, those are blood shoes.
She's not a good. Okay. Myth busting ancient Rome. The truth about the vomitorium.
Vomitorium. What a classy way to put it.
After gorging on a feast of sausages, blood pudding, young sow's udder, sea bream, lobster, mullet, might be a Roman dinner might begin to feel quite full. It was once, though, that a dinner could, at this point in the meal, make a quick visit. Oh, the diner. Quick visit to the vomitorium, a room adjacent to the dining room, replete with a basin and feathers to tickle the throat, in order to make room for the next course. What? Wow, you learned something new. I'm going to mark this as education on this one. Delightful array of Latin words associated with the act of throwing up. Vomitorium.
Random information.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't doubt that it was true. It was just so like such random knowledge to have. Yeah.
Like Cody with everything. It's like, why do you know that?
You do work out a lot, though. I can imagine you Googling eating disorders.
Wow. You're a fucking asshole.
What? I 100% admitted to being...
You can read minds?
I 100% admitted to wishing that I could, like, just eat a bunch of pizza and throw up. So I got no,
Do you think it'd be too stupid to know what you Googly was?
Okay, this kind of got just completely out of nowhere. But the point is that you were right. They did in ancient times.
People have been throwing up to eat more
to go and throw up to eat more. See, me, I wouldn't want to continue to eat. I would just be like, okay,
yeah, after I throw up, I'm like, ooh, like that was a gross feeling in my stomach.
Yeah, I don't want to eat more. Like, it's more if I would just want to. Okay, I got the taste. Yeah. I got to enjoy this pizza. Threw it up. Now I'm feeling sickly, but not, disgusting. And then I would just go about the rest of my day.
That's anorexic. Or is that bulimic?
I can never keep track. Okay. What is the stigma and the difference between eating your food, then throwing it up just so that you can then enjoy the next course to be gluttonous, or eating and then throwing it up and then going about your day to not gain weight? What is the? They're both fucked up. They're both a problem that someone has to deal with.
One is more like, I want to keep eating and I've got the money to do so. One is like, I hate my body, so I'm going to trick it into being skinny.
But isn't gluttony one of the 7 deadly sins, according to Jeebus people?
I'd have to look at like a definition of gluttony to really be like,
but that would be gluttony, yes, wouldn't it? You're literally vomiting just so that you can continue to eat.
I mean, yeah, or at the very least, it might be like...
I think it'd be one thing if it's like, oh my god, I ate so much, I feel sick, I have to throw it up. Oh my god, this podcast is just...
Gotten random.
We have an entire fucking...
Almost an hour of
10 minutes talking about vomiting. But seriously, like, what is... I mean, what's the stigma? What's the connotation of, I ate so much, I feel sick, I need to throw up to feel better, or I ate so much, I need to throw up so I can continue to eat?
Well, like, I've definitely been stoned before as a teenager and eaten so much to the point that it's like, I'm fucking miserable. The only thing that's going to help me is if I, like, throw up a little bit. But it's... like, I've gagged myself to throw up, but it's not like, okay, I'm gonna go eat more now. It was just like,
no, because
that relieved all the pressure from my stomach, where I'd had a fucking large milkshake from Sonic and a goddamn large pizza from somewhere else. So I just
you think that this entire conversation would deplete my appetite for Rocco's Pizza?
I still want fucking pizza.
It has not depleted my We were going on 49 minutes on this motherfucker.
We got a lot of random shit to talk about.
Should we call it?
Yeah. Because I'm ready for pizza and my mimosa's running low.
Okay.
I've got almost a bottle of champagne down. And I'm
Okay,
so
fellas,
fucked up.
the however many people, I think we're up to like 13 followers on Spotify.
13 followers. Holy shit. So
Dude, that's a big deal because that means that they actually want to listen.
Me,
I would say, what?
I said for the 12 of you that aren't me, then.
Oh, thank you. And me, actually. So 11.
So for the 11 of you listening.
Well, they say about podcasts where it's like, it's one thing, like any other social media, it's very different to grow because on every other social media, they just subscribe and it's whatever, or they follow whatever. But on a podcast, it's like, no, they're subscribing because they legitimately want to hear you talk for an hour.
Yeah, like I'd rather have
So
11 people that genuinely want to hear me versus like 50 that are just like, I'll listen to it if it catches my
exactly.
vibe.
And it's hard to tell on iTunes and Spreaker and all those other whatever platforms that it gets streamed to. But it's generally appreciated. So if you have been listening and you have something nice to say, if you have something mean to say, you probably did not make it to the end of this episode. But if you have something nice to say, leaving a rating and a review on iTunes or subscribe or all that social media garbage definitely goes a long way into helping these episodes continue to go. Because why would we continue to make something that we don't know if people like?
Otherwise, we're just narcissists recording our own voices for the pleasure of doing so.
I mean, that's kind of where it started. It's a therapeutic session. It's very cathartic.
It's like a journal, but I don't give a fuck about your opinion.
What? I was sorry. I was just thinking about how I sound.
It's like
on the
a
mic.
journal, but I don't give a fuck about anybody else's
I heard
opinion.
you. I was
well,
kidding.
Fuck you.
And we're out. See you next week. Oh, you dropped your phone.